start talking?
Yeah, it's on.
Well, Jim, you wanted to know about my Army days.
Yeah.
Well, I enlisted, I think it was late 1940, when all of our crew were going into the Air Force. But I couldn't get into the Air Force because I wore glasses. And in those days, you couldn't fly a plane with glasses on. So I couldn't get into the Air Force. And then I tried the Navy. They said they'd take me, but I would have to be an oiler or somebody down in the engine
down below sea level.
below sea level. I didn't want that.
Can
I
understand
volunteered to be a gunner on board the battleship gunner.
Mhm.
They didn't take me. So then Eleanor's husband, Josephus, said, well, I'll tell you what, we'll take you in with us. They're forming a medical unit called a Casualty Clearing Station.
I'm just thinking now how
Really?
old you were. So if it was 1940,
Well, late 1940.
so you were just around turning 20.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and or maybe 21. Anyhow, it doesn't matter. So he took me in, he got me in, and I went in as an ambulance corps driver, which was fine because we were just private soldiers,
Yeah.
but drivers, and we went to what is now called the Montreal Athletic Association grounds for training. Now, neither any of us had ever fired a rifle or drilled or done any soldier except Boy Scout stuff. And we were in the Army in Canada for about 8 months, traveling around various, ending up in Sussex, New Brunswick.
Training in these different places.
Yep. And in Sussex, New Brunswick, I got a terrible pain in my stomach and had to have my appendix out.
Oh.
And they gave me 6 days leave and a train pass home to Montreal.
After you had them out.
After I had the appendix out, yeah. So on returning back from Montreal, from the 6 days leave, recuperation leave or something,
Yeah.
by the time I got back, the unit had packed up and had moved off to Halifax.
So you went to Sussex and they weren't there.
Yeah, I went to Sussex and they went there, but they left. There were 2 other fellows in Montreal at the time. So we got on the train and went right to Halifax, and from Halifax we boarded right onto a boat to take us overseas. We landed in Liverpool about 8 days later. We were never attacked or anything like that, but we did have a escort,
Okay.
airplane escort, Royal Canadian Air Force escort for part of the ocean travel.
Wow.
And then when we got about 3/4 of the way over, an escort came from the Royal Air Force.
Yeah, on the British
See,
side.
we were a troop ship.
Yeah. So it was just full of guys that
Well,
were
that's
about
all.
to start.
That's all. Yeah, they're all. Well, everybody, the other troops on the boat were all well-trained soldiers, but we were a medical corps. We'd never fired a rifle or sloped arms or had any drill or anything. So we got off the boat in Liverpool, and believe it or not, an air raid siren was going, and we didn't know what it was.
New guys.
Yeah, new guys, yeah, the green guys. But anyhow, we eventually got on, marched off the boat and onto a train down to southern England to, from Liverpool to Aldershot, a very famous English area for training camps. And that's where we learnt to march and fire a rifle. But I had a terrible time driving because one was on the wrong side of the road for us.
Yeah.
And by the time we were in England, all the roadsides were down, with not any sign.
No signs.
No
Oh, okay.
sign. You did not know where we were going. It was very difficult. And when we got to camp, and we were in camp for about 2 weeks before all of a sudden, Colonel Cliff Thompson, he became a brigadier general, said we're moving to a place called Crowthorne in south of Leatherhead. Believe it or not. Now, the Canadian Army headquarters in those days was at Leatherhead in England. And so they sent us to Crowthorne, which was a big castle, and we took over the castle to make it into a military hospital, just for casualties.
Oh, like a MASH.
Yeah, exactly like a MASH,
Yeah.
American MASH. That's what we worked at. And then about a year after driving all around, and by the way, when the air raid sirens went, we had to be on the alert in case it was anywhere near us.
Yeah.
We didn't go all over, we just went in our area as driving to pick up casualties, you see.
In the ambulance.
In the ambulance, yeah. And we, being Canadians, we didn't know where we were going.
Yeah.
So we had to have a dispatch rider go in front of us
On what, a
on
motorcycle?
a motorcycle.
Okay.
And he had a pinpoint light at the back of his motorcycle. We weren't allowed to have lights on or anything.
Oh, right, yeah. 'cause of
Everything
the
was
lack
pitch
of-
black.
Yeah,
We just followed that little flashlight,
wow.
and I ran the guy off the road. But he wasn't hurt.
Wow.
And anyhow, we survived, and then I took training as in medical training, you know, medical alert, but they call it medics or something, what are they?
Paramedics.
Paramedics, yeah, but they weren't called medics. And all we did was pick up guys and stretchers. People from their cottages, from their homes that had been blown up. There were no war casualties. The war hadn't really, the invasion hadn't come yet.
It wasn't soldiers, it was just citizens, you mean?
Mostly, 99% were citizens. The other percentage were guys who'd picked up VD. And they had to go to the hospital.
Okay.
Terrible pension for them. Terrible. Terrible. I won't put that on your machine, though.
All right.
What happened to them?
I don't wanna know either.
No. Terrible. And all of a sudden, shortly after that, the colonel got on that message, or a note, or all the regiments got a message that the Canadian Army is going to be short young commissioned officers for the invasion. For when the invasion comes out.
When would that have been by
Oh,
now? Are
let's
you up
see.
to the beginning of 41?
Oh, way after that now.
Oh, okay.
We're damn near 44, I think.
Oh, okay.
But all we did is drive around for years and just drive around, you know, and pick up people. And train, marching, and you know, the worst guy to lead us to march was my brother-in-law. He was a fierce guy, you know, he was muscular and all right. We all had to do them. He took us on terrible route marches. So anyhow, Colonel Thompson submitted my name, unbeknownst to me. So I had to go to, first of all, I had to go to Canadian Army to be tested whether I'd passed my matriculation or whatever it was called in those days, which I had. And I passed some certain mental tests and medical and physical and mental tests at the Canadian Army. Then they sent me back to the regiment, to my unit. And about 2 weeks later, the colonel got to send me over to the British Army. It's called OCTU, pre-OCTU, Officer Cadet Training Unit.
Okay.
So I went to go to the British Army, OCTU, which was in Kimberley in Surrey, England, south of London again. And I got through there, and I went back to the regiment, the unit. And then, another couple of weeks later, they said, I have to report back to the British Army. And I thought there's some mistake, I'd failed. I thought I'd failed, you see. So I had nothing to lose, had nothing to, I'm free, white 21, lots of freedom and everything. Nothing to lose except my life, I guess.
Yeah.
But anyhow, when I went back, they said, you're Wallace D94530, that's your only numbers, you know, your no names are. Yes, sir. You're going to go to Sandhurst. I said, I don't know where that is. He said, well, it's just around the corner. Was the Royal Military College.
Right.
British Royal Military. I had no idea. This is where all the sons of the royalty and everything
I know,
go.
yeah, Sandhurst. Sandhurst.
Sandhurst, your
pretty
Royal
famous
Military
place, yeah.
And so I said, okay, and I was paraded before the adjutant at the Sandhurst College, and I said, sir, there must be a mistake.
Because you're Canadian?
Because I'm Canadian. I was told we were going to be sent home to Canada to train, to go to the Far Eastern War, because we had no jungle warfare training. We were coming home, we were going to be sent to Georgia, in the United States, to train with the British Army, with the American Army for jungle warfare training. So, they said, you're Wallace, da-da-da-da, yes, sir, you go there.
Yeah.
That was it.
Just do it yourself.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And you report, da-da-da, which I did. I had a hard time understanding the English language at the time. they're really pucker, you know.
Yeah.
And that place is really, it was. So anyhow, I got through that. I think it was about 14 months I was training there to be tank corps. Tank corps. I'd never even been in a tank.
Yeah.
It was about 14 or 16 months after that, I'm a tank corps commander. Lieutenant, I'm graduated. Oh, that was one of the beauties. Although I was Canadian, there were 2 other Canadians there at the same time, an Australian, a New Zealander, and a South African. And we were all Commonwealth then in those days, as you would call it. So, could you switch it off for a bit?
I think so.
Well, by graduation time, my sister Eleanor had managed to get to England with the Canadian Red Cross. And she was doing clerical work or something in the Canadian Red Cross office in London and had contacted me. And I managed to get up and have a visit with her. And previous to that, I had seen my brother Hugh, who was at a regimental depot farther down the highway. And we all got together. And we had one reunion with Eleanor, Hugh, and Josephus before the invasion. And one time, a kind of humorous time, Eleanor and I were in London, taking her out to dinner, and I was stopped by a salesman wanting to know if I wanted any French letters to entertain my lady friend with. I was embarrassed to pieces, but Eleanor just laughed. She was a good head in those days. She just got a big kick out of it. I turned them down.
So where was Alfreda during this? She was over there too.
She was in the American Army. American Force.
Oh, right, okay.
Okay, well that comes in after this though.
Okay.
After graduation, oh, by the way, while at Sandhurst, we were posted by name and alphabetical order. W's at the end of the alphabet, so we get the last rooms.
Yeah.
The other guy in the room with me, the other chap, was Andrew Weems. W-E-Y-M-S-S, I think, or W-M. Well, Andrew Weems. I couldn't understand him for the first couple of weeks. He was so British.
Yeah.
But I have since learned that he's fairly, in the last 6 months or so, finished his term as private secretary to Her Majesty the Queen.
Wow.
It's true.
Huh.
And, while there, Andrew took me up to his home, which is in Weems, Scotland, I might add. And we were met by a chauffeur,
Yeah.
Rolls Royce. And I didn't know how to, I said, Andrew, for gosh sakes, only I didn't use that.
Yeah.
How do I address your mother and father? Well, you just say sir to him,
Yeah.
and ma'am, or
Yeah.
Mrs. Weems, or Lady Weems or something. Okay, so I managed to struggle through. Had beautiful, about 4 days up there. It's my first trip to Scotland. Beautiful, beautiful place. Since then, we've been back 2 or 3 times, I think, with your mother, you know.
You reconnected with him?
No,
Oh.
I've never been able to. I don't know why I never. I should have, I guess. I didn't think he'd remember me. But
I bet he would.
well, you never know. He was a big, tall Englishman. Anyhow, very nice guy. So then came invasion time, and we had to train to get onto landing craft with tanks.
Oh.
And that was a very difficult job because every single road down to the coast was jammed full of equipment, tanks, guns, everything. You could hardly walk down the roads.
Is this on the south coast?
South coast, right on the south coast of the Channel, English Channel.
Okay.
I think it was Bournemouth or something we were at, and it was a terrible, difficult job. Fortunately, I had a very excellent driver who had lots of training in driving. I didn't drive the tank. I'm the commander, you see. I'm the guy up in the turret, telling him where to go. So anyhow, we got onto the landing craft about 6 times. Everybody had to practice lots of practicing. They weren't very big, but there were, I think, 2 tanks on our landing craft. And eventually they gave the go-ahead, and we went to France, landed, got on shore. We didn't have too much trouble. We weren't the first ones to land though. We were about the fourth wave or something like that. But by the time we got there, it was path cleared. The fourth day or something like that.
Whereabouts did you land in France? Remember?
I'd have to look at a map.
Yeah.
I don't remember. But we got up on top and all the rest of it. We survived and we struggled through. We blasted holes into everything we could find. And shot everything we would move, excluding our own troops.
Yeah.
We shot at everything. To this day, I don't know what we ever. We must have exterminated a few of our non-friends. It's terrible to think about nowadays.
Yeah.
So, anyhow, we had about quite a few months in France and Belgium and Holland and all went through there. And then that's when they decided to pull us back because they were going to have to train us for, they had enough troops over there by this time. They were going to train us for Far Eastern War.
Oh.
To go to, I think it was Virginia or something like that we were going to learn. Georgia, yeah. We were going to be trained to jungle warfare.
Well, just before that, what different countries did you go to in Europe? You mentioned Holland and Belgium and France, others too.
And Germany. And I think that's all we touched at.
Italy?
No, Brother Hugh was in Italy, but I wasn't.
Oh, Hugh was there.
No, Hugh was in Italy, but we never got down that far. There were two different wars going on all around the time. Because you see, by this time, the Russians were our allies.
Okay.
People forget that
Yeah.
at the beginning of the war, they were our enemies. They were German allies, but they switched over. Stalin
Yeah.
realized that Hitler was the bad guy.
Uh-huh.
We didn't know all this was going on. We're just little guys in the troops, you know. But we knew that what Hitler was doing was just terrible. Just terrible. But, believe it or not, the Russians did just as badly to the Germans.
Did you know during the war what was going on with the concentration camps
No.
and all that?
No, we didn't know until nearly all the end of the war. Although there were rumors and several words that so many people would be missing.
Uh-huh.
We had no idea. How the hell were they taking them out?
Yeah.
We get into a town that's empty. Where have they gone?
Yeah. Wow.
We weren't the first troops in, mind you, but by the time we got there,
Yeah.
where have they gone? Mr. Himmler,
Yeah.
Heinrich Himmler, I think, was in charge of that. Oh, they moved them and they killed them. We never saw him.
Took them out by trains.
Oh, yeah. Or forced them marked. And the weather was not good. Terrible weather. Terrible weather by this time. Anyhow, we eventually got back to England. Were sent home. We came home. And I came home. Oh, no, I better tell you. By the time we got back to England, my sister Elfrida had been in. She was on with the Irving Berlin musical show in the United States. And they sent the whole show over to England.
Oh, wow.
And I think Elfrida also went to Europe, I'm not sure. So we had one meeting with Eleanor and Elfrida and Hugh and myself and Josephus in England.
Wow.
Just one time. We have a picture, I'll show it to you. Or have I showed you?
Yeah, I've seen it, yeah.
Boy, that was a happy time. We're all officers home.
So that was right near the end of the war.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So by the time I got home, Hugh had been home. He would come home to go to the senior staff college in Kingston, Ontario. Royal Military College is Kingston in those days, Canadian.
Still there?
Yeah, well, Hugh was going to be going up in ranks, but he decided to pull out. Not on his own.
Uh-huh.
Limited budget.
Yeah.
And so then, and I had 6 weeks leave when I got home. We were on the first troop ship to come home to Canada at the end of the war.
But the war wasn't really
But the
over.
war wasn't over.
Yeah.
But we were coming home to train in Georgia. But we arrived in Quebec City. And the first troop ship since the First World War that ever arrived in Quebec City. And it was a huge celebration.
And had the war ended while you were on the ship? No.
But they wouldn't let us off the ship. They had to wait till a train came in the next morning, and we marched right off the boat onto the train.
Because they thought you'd go wild.
Oh yeah, well we would have, because a lot of the guys were from Quebec,
Oh, okay, yeah.
you know, and they were very, I don't like to, well, they blew up some of those French letters He
Yeah.
dropped them on the dignitaries on the port, on the dock. Welcome home, soldiers, you know, boom. That one landed on a tuba. But anyhow, the next morning we got on the train, and lo and behold, the Red Cross girls were there with oranges and apples and bananas. We hadn't had anything like that for 4 or 5 years.
I bet you're more interested in the girls than the oranges.
We had lots of girls,
Okay,
if you wanted them. But no Canadians, of course.
right.
So then we came home to Montreal, and, you know, military stuff, I was granted 6 weeks leave, and I went to our house in Como. And while in Como, we met your mother.
So this was in the summer then?
Yes, oh yeah. Who was the younger sister of my schoolmate, Elspeth Steele.
Right.
And I had completely forgotten about her mother, about her sister, Barbara.
Well, I guess she was pretty little
Oh,
left,
yeah.
right?
I didn't even remember, I didn't even remember being in school with Elspeth.
Yeah.
But everybody sure, but it comes back, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we started courting.
Mm-hmm.
And we met some of the guys that come back. Bob Lindsay, you know Bob.
Right.
He'd been in the Navy. And his brother David, do you remember David Lindsay and Bob Lindsay?
No.
Okay. He used to come to the farm. Well, David was with the Air Force and Bob was with the Navy and I was with the Army. So we had lots of good times and dances and parties and everything around. And then 1940, was I married at 45?
46.
Okay. 46, your mother asked me to marry her.
Yeah.
She's listening down in the background.
Yeah.
And I thought it would be a very good idea. After several months, it was costing me too much money to entertain her. Of course, I was on full pay, you know.
Oh yeah, because the war was still
Oh yeah,
going on.
yeah. Well, I don't know, $5 or $6 a day I was getting for doing nothing. In those days, that was a lot of money.
Lots of money, yeah, right.
And we eventually got married on August 24th, 1946.
Yeah.
1947, along came Wilf, your brother, and Mary came in 1950, and you came in 57, and Rob came in
66.
66.
Yeah.
And we've had many, many happy days since then.
So I'm curious now though, that you've got, okay, so you're already home and then the war ended.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
he was already home too.
Yeah. Oh, I know what happened.
Yeah.
When the war was ended, while the war with the Far East was on,
Yeah.
the Japanese war was still going.
Right.
But while we were on leave, President Truman gave the okay to drop the atomic bomb.
Oh yeah.
They dropped the atomic bomb while we're still on our leave, and boom, everything was over.
Yeah.
Oh, we were so thankful.
Yeah.
But all this time, we were one of the very few families that have 4 kids overseas at the same time.
Mm-hmm. And you all made it back.
And we all made it back, and I often think that must be very hard for Mother and Dad.
Yeah.
Terrible time for them.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And another thing that happened while we were away, the Canadian government, we had a fairly good sized house in Westmount, Quebec. The Canadian government asked Mother and Dad to let them have the house for the duration of the war for diplomats from outside countries that they had to put in towns,
Oh yeah.
which they did. So Mother and Dad got an apartment downtown in Toronto and let the government have our house.
Montreal, I mean.
In Montreal.
Yeah.
But when we came back, the war was over. By the time we got released from the army, it was over.
Yeah.
So we could go back to our house in Roslyn.
Uh-huh.
And that's where life started.
Yeah.
We'll switch it off now. While at Sandhurst, I had the great honor to meet a lot of very fine people, mostly headquartered in southern England, including the Chief of Police of London, England, who came down to address us and teach us things about, because we might have been sent, if we hadn't volunteered to go home, to go to the east, that is,
Yeah.
we were going to be taking over cities and running towns, occupied cities.
Oh.
to reorganize the city. They were blasted to pieces, you know.
In England or Europe?
Europe, France, Germany, Holland,
Uh-huh.
mostly in Germany, Holland, Germany mostly. But we were going to be trained to how to set up a new city and everything to get
Right.
you appoint this man, this, that, and various. I had no idea how to appoint you
Wow.
as chief of police or you as the fire officer. Or,
Right, right.
This was all going to be training, but fortunately, they decided to send us home in time.
Well, how did the dropping the bomb on Japan end the war that was going on in Europe?
Okay, because they were all allies. Japan was allies with Germany,
Uh-huh.
and Germany had surrendered, but Japan had not surrendered. Did you not realize that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Japan had not surrendered, and President Truman, before that Roosevelt, worked very hard to get them to allies, but they'd get the Japanese to surrender, but they wouldn't. And of course they were doing a hell of a lot of damage out there in their part of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the places we did not want to go to, believe it or not.
Why?
Do you remember Buzz Borey?
Yeah.
He served in the Air Force in Ceylon,
Okay.
right at the very bottom of that continent over there.
Yeah.
In the Air Force. He wasn't wounded, but he was in an accident and he broke his leg. And he got a pension for life
Yeah.
from Ceylon, from playing baseball. He never told him he was going to playing baseball.
Jeez.
But I don't know, $25 or something a month, you know.
Yeah.
But anyhow, that was one of the other fellows that got back. Buzz, David, quite a few of us got back actually. But we lost many. I lost nearly all my relations. Like John Wallace, you never knew him. No, you wouldn't have known any of them because they're all dead. I did know Barbara's brother before we went overseas. He was in the army. He came home too. And many guys did get home, but more of them didn't make it.
What did Sandy do?
He was artillery. And something else, I forget exactly. I'm sure he was in the artillery corps.
Did you ever see him when you were over there?
Never did.
Did you ever run into anybody when you were overseas that you knew, but you didn't
Yes, I did.
expect to run into?
Yes, I did. Johnny Nicholson, whose wife was a classmate of Barb's in Montreal. Yes, I ran into John. I ran into Buzz Borey in London, England.
Wow.
Pictures of it like that. We have pictures somewhere of it. And a few times. You see, we could go in London. They had the British Canadian Army had a huge building called the Beaver Club for Canadians. You could sign up if you were going to be there next month.
Oh,
You know.
okay.
So you leave your name and or your address if you wanted to get in touch. And this is how you got in touch with the other guy.
I see.
Not very many though, because you usually stayed with your own regiment.
Yeah.
But see, I was still with the British Army,
Oh, yeah.
so I could get off different times with the Canadian Army guys. But I could go to the Beaver Club because I was Canadian Army.
Right.
By the way, you still on?
Yeah.
I graduated as a full lieutenant, and all the British guys were second lieutenants. So my roommate had to salute me. Andrew had to salute me officially on parade.
Because you were Canadian?
No, because I was a full lieutenant. He was only second lieutenant.
Why did you graduate as a lieutenant?
Canadian armies didn't have any second lieutenants overseas.
Oh, there was no such
No,
position.
no.
So,
And I was getting full Canadian Army, full lieutenant's pay, which was equal to probably the British Army's Lance Corporal pay. Of course, they didn't care about money over there.
yeah.
Those guys had plenty of money. But officially, my roommate had to salute me after we graduated.
Must have liked that.
Oh well, it was all in fun, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to salute you, Wilfred, or something like that. I said, you salute me or else I'll report you. Who are you going to report me to? You know, all in fun. But, and of course, the chief of police of London was a fellow by the name of Cecil Gurney.
I remember him.
He came over to Canada a couple of times.
He
I said,
visited us at the farm, didn't he?
yes, he did.
I didn't know he was the chief of police.
Of London. Oh, retired. He was
yeah.
well decorated from the First World War. He was an old man.
Yeah.
He got, I don't know how he made it. He could hardly walk, you know.
Yeah.
But anyhow, he was awfully good, not only to me, but to a whole bunch of us. mostly Canadians. He seemed to take it. And he would give us an area and show us all around and train us, or teach us. He came down to teach us a course on policing part of the city, just part, not the whole city.
Right.
If a bomb dropped over that, it wasn't in his area, no,
Somebody else is taking care of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And the bombs, by this time, there weren't so many air raids by this, but they were shooting, they were called V-bombs, VE
V2s
bombs.
Yeah.
Not the ones that had propellers on them, but this one, you didn't know they're coming.
So they were launched out of some
Oh,
cannon, or?
In Germany. Peenemund or something like that in Germany. They were launched from there, but this is
were
one,
they rockets, or?
rockets.
Yeah.
This is the one thing that I really, shouldn't say this, but I really admired the American Army for. They captured the guy that invented that.
Wow.
They made him come, they brought him back to the American, he's the guy that's put those things up in the air now. Geez, I know it.
Is it von Braun?
Von Braun?
Werner.
No, Von, I don't think that's who it was, but he was involved, all right. Oh, well, I'll have his name somewhere along. Brilliant, way ahead of his time.
Yeah.
But he invented the flying bomb first. That's the one that you could hear coming.
Yeah.
And when it's cut off, you know,
Then it was
when
going to drop.
Oh, terrifying thing.
I bet.
You could be in a restaurant or having a date or something like that, and everybody died for when the bomb stopped flying, the motor stopped, you knew it was going to come down somewhere.
Yeah.
But you never knew where it was coming,
Yeah, right.
here or 5 miles away.
Yeah.
That was the most terrible. The rocket bomb, you never knew when it was coming.
Because it was just quiet the
Yeah.
whole time.
Well, you never heard a thing.
Yeah.
I was in Sally Ann with Johnny Nicholson, a good friend of mine from Montreal, whose wife went to school with Mom, and we were having a coffee, and the whole building just disintegrated.
Wow.
And John was over there and I was here. He said, that was a bloody one of those flying bombs. I said, no, it wasn't, because I didn't hear any engine. He said, I mean the rocket bombs.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I ever heard of one. Oh, I knew of, but I
You were
never.
in the building that blew up?
Yes. Well, the end of it did.
Wow.
I mean, that could be down 14 blocks away from you.
Yeah.
But the explosion was unbelievable. And dust and rockets and booted glass. We got out of there in a hurry. We thought the building was going to fall.
Yeah.
But anyhow, John and I never talked about that too often, but we have pictures of them. Now, where were we?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Anyhow, Mother and I, we already have a family, and thanks to your grandfather, your mom's dad, we were able to get that house on Brock Avenue in Montreal West.
Okay.
You weren't there.
No.
We were there for, I think, more than that.
8 years.
We were there in Brock Avenue 8 years, and I was transferred to Toronto to take over part of the family business to run the Ontario end of it. And we got to Toronto in 40,
It would be in the 50s.
well, if we were in Toronto in yes. What year were we married?
46.
We were married in 46.
So 8 years would be
Wilfred
54.
47.
55, I guess we moved to Toronto.
Yeah.
I think Mary was 4 years old.
Maybe somewhere around 55.
That'd be
We moved
54.
to Toronto just after Hurricane Hazel destroyed a lot of Toronto.
Right.
The Humber River.
Yeah.
And we lived just west of the Humber River in Toronto.
Right.
We didn't realize what had happened, you know. We knew. We didn't have a TV in those days.
Oh, yeah.
And that was the first big thing that came on TV in Canada, was Hurricane
Hazel.
Hazel,
Yeah.
which hit Toronto.
Yeah.
No one ever heard of Toronto having a problem in their life.
That
Or
was a real
since.
surprise.
Or since. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we stayed in Toronto for
8 years.
8 years and moved to Mono Mills.
Right.
Yeah, which we said last night. We figured
Yeah.
out was June of '63.
Was it?
Yep.
So we were able to acquire a farm, a beautiful farm in Mono Mills,
Mm-hmm.
where we weren't there very long before Mother decided to have another child, which was you.
No, it was not me. It was Rob.
Where were you born?
I was born in Toronto.
Oh, that's right.
57.
Every
just
house
after
we
you-
went to, we had another child.
Every house, yeah, that's right.
So I told Wilf after Rob was born I wasn't going to move
We're
anymore.
not moving anymore. Yeah.
And Mum was wise to say that. But that brings us just about up to date.
Yeah, it brings us up to 45 years ago.
Oh. I must say, and to this day I say, that our days on the farm were great, great days.
Yeah. Well, for me, of course, like I grew up there.
Yeah.
From when we lived there from when I was 6 till 18, I think.
Well, Rob was born when we were there,
Yeah. And he was there from 0 to 10.
and when we were there, Mum got really into gardening,
Oh
and
yeah.
she became a horticultural judge and traveled all around,
World renowned.
world-renowned
Oh,
garden
yeah.
horticulturalist,
Yep.
and also, very much more important, she was a very excellent
Palliative care?
palliative care worker,
Mm-hmm.
and traveled all around Orangeville area.
Yeah, I remember that.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And she was highly in demand. And I was very glad to help her. When she had to go out at night, I'd go and drive with her.
Yeah.
I didn't like your mother to be out alone at night. And then, what happened then, Mum?
I don't know.
Oh,
What?
after that saddest day was when we were struck by lightning.
Oh yeah. I remember that well.
Were you still home then? Or had
I
you
was
become-
living at home, but I was
At school.
when it happened exactly. No, I wasn't at school. It was on the weekend. It was on a
Oh.
Sunday.
I sure it was a Sunday.
That's right.
I had gone swimming in Mono Center, of all things, because it was a clear, sunny,
I know.
blue sky.
I was
summer
lying
day,
on the sofa.
You know.
13th of June.
13th. Yeah. See, it was
Yeah, 'cause
June
Rob's birthday's
the 15th.
on the 15th, and we forgot about his birthday
Ah.
Oh man.
because we were in such a state.
Yeah.
Well, we were broken-hearted, let's be honest about
Well,
it.
everything was such a mess, and of course it took a while for that fire to die down,
Right.
and we didn't have any sleep or anything.
Oh, I remember it well.
Yeah, and
How did you know about it?
I just happened to be driving home, and as I came up the 7th line I had come across the 5 side road, and when I got to about the Stanton's driveway,
Yeah, you saw.
Don and John Layton were coming back home to their place in their truck, and I stopped, and I saw these flames, and I said, "Is that at our place or what?" And he said, "Yeah, the barns are burning." And I said, "Both of them?" And Don looked at me and kind of said, yeah, like I hadn't realized that of course it would be both
Yeah,
of them,
yeah,
the magnitude of the fire.
of
was
course.
So that you couldn't possibly
Oh,
have just
that
one.
must have been a terrible thing for you.
It was very strange.
Very upsetting.
it's a good thing it wasn't the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were lucky.
Yeah, it was upsetting.
Better turn that off now. Or is it off?
Well, I wanted to ask also about the sequence of your jobs, because it's something that's never been clear to me.
Okay, when I went to Toronto,
Well, you got back from the war, so you started off in Montreal.
yeah, the jobs I had, I think first job I had when I went to was McCall Frontenac Coil Company, wasn't it there?
He did work for that bag company. What
Woods Manufacturing,
Woods
that was after McCall Frontenac.
was it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
then I transferred to,
Yeah, what happened was you worked for McCall Frontenac. Then you had your collapsed lung.
oh, that's right.
Yeah.
While I was working at McCall Frontenac, I had a collapsed lung.
Mhm.
And we lived in Montreal West. And when I went back to work, my job wasn't there. Because I wasn't allowed to go. I was 3 months. Oh, I had to go to live in Como.
It was a rescuer.
Yeah, for 3 months.
What was your job at that place?
Clerk.
Okay.
Just beginning learning the trade and everything, you know.
Yeah.
But they thought I should not go back to work. I was supposed to have 3 months rest before I could go back to work. Well, fortunately, Mother and Dad were out in Como, and Barb's mother and dad lived in Montreal, and they took Barb to her house,
With the
and I went to
baby.
Como, and I never saw, who was the first?
Wilf.
Well,
For 3 months, first 3 months of his life.
well, you saw him when he was born.
Oh, the day after he was born, yes, I
Yeah.
was sent to, yeah. And it was pretty tough, but mother's dad was a very hobbyist photography,
I
and he'd
remember.
send me a lot of wonderful pictures of my son,
Yeah.
our
It was
son.
winter time, you know, and
Yeah,
Yeah, right, because he was
Yeah.
born in December.
Como wasn't that close.
So your lung collapsed like right when he was born?
yes, no, the next day.
The day after he was born?
I saw him when he was just born,
Yeah.
but I never saw him being fed or anything like that,
Yeah,
you know,
for 3 months.
for 3 months. Oh, that was very tough. I'm wondering all the time, how is he, you know,
Yeah.
I'm up to Como, which in those days was an
That
hour
was-
away from Toronto,
That was like far.
from Montreal.
Yeah.
Right, in winter time and everything.
Yeah,
So then you
But-
went over to Woods.
Woods Manufacturing, yeah.
I think Dad got you that job, didn't he?
I'm trying to remember where the office was.
I don't know. But when he went back, they had told him, don't worry about your job.
Yeah,
And then when he went back, I'm sorry,
it's gone.
no job.
Yeah, we had to refill it, we had to replace him. I was so important, they had to replace me. I was just a clerk, you know.
But in those days, we didn't have medical insurance or anything either.
That's right,
Oh boy.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's why I had to go home, and Barb had to go home, and Mum had to go home.
Oh yeah, financially.
But we had a house, we had Brock Avenue.
Mm.
And I'm lying in bed, like, what the heck's happening? My poor little wife with a baby and no male support. Was
Well,
Sandy
so
Valley
you-
in the next street?
You would have still been in the hospital with Wilf when his lung collapsed.
Yes.
Did you know about it?
Well, they came in. Oh, it was Alma and Hugh came in. No, first of all, Eleanor
Why
came
don't you
in.
get Mum in here?
And then
Yeah, okay.
she started to cry. And I thought, what the heck's the matter with her? She said, how are you going to manage? And I thought, what is she talking about? You know what Eleanor's like.
Yeah.
She, you know, she sort of talks around. She can't come to the point. So, anyway, she started to cry and dashed out of the room. I thought, what is going on? And then Alma and Hugh came in.
But they didn't have a family by then.
No, but Alma and Hugh came in, and they told me
Uh-huh.
that you were sick.
Oh, gee.
And Hugh, of course, very dramatic. He's very, very ill. I thought you were dying.
I'm sure.
You know, I thought, get that man out of here. I was so mad at him. But anyway, then Mac came in, Uncle Mac, and he explained to me what it was all about.
Yeah.
And he was very good. He said, well, sometimes an abscess forms and it bursts. Well, he said it can form on your lung as well as some other place.
Oh.
And it formed in your lung and it bursts and it makes a hole.
Oh, I see.
And then the air escapes from your lung. That's the way he explained it.
Well, at that time I had been a heavy smoker.
Uh-huh.
So anyway,
So then you were on your own for the 3 months.
yeah. I didn't know one end from the baby. I didn't know
No,
what to do with the
for
baby.
my first baby. And
Yeah.
Well, you know, nowadays they send you to, they put you through courses
Yeah.
at the hospital. They you know, show you how to bath the baby.
Oh, sure.
And
47.
all the rest of
We
it.
were very fortunate that you
They
were.
didn't have anything like that
So
at
you
all. You
were,
just went home and there you were with the baby.
So you would have just turned 24.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was about 23 when I was married, yeah.
Yeah, I just figured it out. So.
Good mathematics.
Yeah. So, okay, so then you went to Woods.
Yep. And I was with Woods, and I think it was their office was in St. Lambert, Quebec.
Maybe, I don't
And you
know.
were selling stuff. And
Yep. Paper bags, multi-wall paper bags, like used for cement.
yeah. I remember you saying that you stopped in on the flour mills and stuff too.
That's right. That's how I got on to know your country.
Yeah.
All those,
All
every
over,
little town had a flour grinder, had a flour mill in those days. You know, the local mill.
everywhere with a river.
That's right. Including Orangeville.
Yeah, well, on Mill Street.
Yeah.
Imagine that. And then,
But I never sold him a bag. I don't know who had it in those days either.
but you said, I remember you saying you stopped in Pakenham.
Oh yes, I love that country.
That mill is still operating.
Gee, really.
Yeah,
Where they get it? Well, the local farmers are still bringing their stuff in.
I guess.
And I'll bet they can't get enough to keep them going.
I don't know.
Very, very, I must. How far away is that from your house?
Half an hour.
Let's go next time.
Yeah. So, okay, so then you've got woods, and how long were you doing that?
I forget. Oh, 3 or 4 years anyhow.
Mm-hmm.
And then my dad's cousin, Jim Harrison, was running the Ontario end of the same business as Dad had. You know, Donahue Corporation,
Right.
Elastics.
Yeah.
By this time involved with building, quarter selling, all the rest of it. And they office in Toronto. Jim wanted to retire. And they had nobody trained here to take over, so they said, they offered Hugh to go. Hugh didn't want to go.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want to go to Toronto.
Yeah.
He was stubborn, you know,
Wow.
stubborn old cod. Anyhow, so Dad said, well, if you better go. And I said, well, I'll go up and see him. I loved it.
Yeah.
I just loved it. It was just a nice little office. But I had 3 or 4 guys traveling around the country, reporting back to me. And that's how it started in Ontario for us.
That was still Donahue at that point?
It was Donahue and Belding.
Mm-hmm.
Belding and Donahue united,
Merged, yeah.
merged. See, Donahue had thread. No, I'm sorry, Belding Corticelli had thread.
Right.
And imported threads and everything from France, which was the big thing because we were big in elastic products, Donahue,
Mm-hmm.
of which one happened to be women's girdles.
Mm-hmm.
But by this time, just about this time, pantyhose came in.
Uh-huh.
Women don't wear girdles
So
anymore.
much for girdles. Yeah.
No. So it all worked out very well. And I, being the local agent in Toronto, the head of it in Toronto, and we traveling around, this is where I spotted Mona Mills.
Uh-huh.
And of course, by living on Kings Garden Road, we curled and joined, what was the name of the club?
Dixie?
St.
No.
George.
St. George's Club.
Oh,
Yeah,
St.
Dixie
George's.
Club, Dixie Curling Club first, but then we switched to St. George's Club,
Yeah.
where they had the Canadian Open last year, golf club.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I might add that when I first came to Toronto, my mother had a cousin, Alma Leroyd, on Burnham Thorpe Road, and she let me stay there until we could figure out what we were going to do.
Well, we had to look for a house.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we were still in Montreal.
I went,
And-
I had a problem. I passed out. And I went to the doctor. And he said, you have what we call occupational fatigue. And he said, you need to have a holiday. So instead of a holiday, you went to Toronto. I went and stayed at Alma Leroy and looked for a house.
Okay.
And went, no, you must have stayed home and looked at. Because somebody was looking after the children.
We had a Miss Lady, a nurse. Where was that?
No.
In Montreal West?
Montreal West.
Oh, I don't remember.
I don't know what happened. Because you weren't in Toronto when I looked for the house. It was during the Easter holidays.
Well, anyhow.
Anyway, I found a place and then we got together.
Kings Garden Road. Mum found Kings Garden Road.
Number 16.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which was a very nice house.
That's where I started out.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It was a nice house, Kings Garden Road.
Yeah.
Made a lot of friends there.
So what led you to, if you were already at Kings Garden Road, what got you thinking about living in the country?
Well, because when I was at Kings, the office was on Adelaide Street,
Yeah.
and I used to go out and travel around to see all the accounts.
Yeah.
And I happened to like the hilly country.
The rolling hills
Yeah.
of Mono.
Yeah, we missed the hilly country.
Yeah.
But we had, oh, I know, that's where we met John and Marg Murdoch,
Right.
Curling.
At the St. George's.
at curling club.
Yeah.
And I used to curl a lot with John, and we mixed curling. Your mom was an excellent curler, did you know that?
Yes, I did.
She was perfect lead. You know why?
Always got
Because she
everything
was so
on.
good at it.
She had one weight, and that was stop right in the button every single.
Well, I could take things out.
Oh, I
too.
know, dear. I'm pulling your leg a little bit, dear.
Yeah.
Well, Mom was a very, very good curler. But we met John and Margaret, and John kept saying, well, why don't you come out and see what we are? So one day we decided to go up, and we went to their farm.
Yeah, quite the place it was.
Oh, lovely. Remember it?
I do.
Next line to us.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. They came back to our place a couple of times while we were in Toronto and all the rest of it. And I said, gee, that's pretty nice up there. And
He phoned you up one day.
he phoned up one day, said there's a farm that's come up for sale. Or a place, a house. That's what it was. The manse, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, the manse. No, I don't know how we heard about the manse,
I thought it was the manse, dearie.
but it was the manse first, yeah. And we went to look at it.
Yeah.
And we had,
Your mom fell in love with the manse.
Yeah.
well,
It was a pretty neat house.
we had $5,000. Now, how did we get that? Some Uncle Sumner or somebody. Well, Mr. Phillips, I think, when he died.
I have no idea.
He left us $5,000. And that's what the manse cost. It was up for $5,000.
That's right.
Wow.
Remember the manse?
Yeah.
Little place.
And we had a fellow come out. It had been for sale for ages and ages and ages with a sign outside. And we had a friend of Dad's come out and look at it to see
Yeah.
about the structure and so on. And he said, well, that's what it was. He said, for $5,000 you could put on a roof and do all the things that had to have done to it.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
And we thought, oh, good.
No, it was for sale for $4,000. That's what it was. And we had the 5,000 extra. So go
I
ahead.
don't know what it was,
Yeah.
but anyway, we thought, oh great, this just fits in well. We can fix it up over the years and retire there someday.
Yeah.
That's what's our
Use it for a
original
summer
plan.
cottage sort of thing.
Right.
So we went home and we sent in the check for the whole amount. And Phil Newkirk, you remember him?
Yeah.
He was the warden of the church.
Uh-huh.
And he phoned us up and he said, are you interested in buying that place? We said, yes, we've sent our check in. Well, he said, there's somebody in the office right now wanting to buy it. So we phoned the real estate man and said, our check's in the mail.
Right.
He said, sorry, it's sold.
Oh.
That's from here
And
to
they
there.
had put, two women who had gone by and seen it, got together $25, and put $25 down and bought it.
And one of those two women is still a friend of your mother.
So my Aunt Connie's, or Aunt Muriel, I guess it was, said to, why don't you make friends with those people? Maybe someday they might want to sell it.
Yeah.
And you get first refusal on it. So we did. And we became quite friendly.
Who is it?
Elizabeth Kerr bought it.
I remember the name.
And she was a school teacher in Kitchener. And
Her
her
mother and
father
father.
and mother used to come out and use it a lot.
Their mother and father lived in Hyde Park, in Toronto.
Elizabeth, what was her name? Her name was Edith Pike. Edith and Edgar Pike.
They are the ones that bought the manse. Or let's.
They didn't buy it, but
No,
they used it a lot.
Used it, yeah.
And he did a lot of gardening. And he was
So-
a retired teacher too.
So you almost had that place. And
Yeah.
then,
So
that-
so when that fell through,
we were.
I was so upset I
Mother
couldn't
had
speak
every
for
room
about.
fixed up in her mind.
oh, I bet. Yeah.
The
Oh, I
walls were
just.
that thick,
I know.
I could hardly speak for about 3 days. I was so
We were
upset.
so upset there, dear.
So we were telling John about it, I guess.
John Murdoch, yeah.
And he said, well, there's a farm across the road. And that fellow bought it from out west, but he's not happy there. Maybe if you talk to him. And we weren't really thinking of a farm, that was sort
No
of
idea at all about that.
bigger than we were thinking of.
Yeah.
Anyway, we went out to see them, and we fell, and we just drove in the driveway one day. Nobody was home. We fell in love with it.
Yeah, it's an amazing place.
So then,
Wait a minute,
Then Uncle Saunders-
I went up first one day,
oh yeah,
and there was nobody there. And I said out to myself, I'm gonna go home and get Mum,
Yeah.
have a look at this. Oh, so remember the old porch,
Mm-hmm.
little step? I said, as soon as Mother gets up here, I'm sunk.
Yeah.
We had to sell our Toronto.
oh, so anyway,
We borrowed.
no, Uncle Sumner died and left us some money. And we used that money to fix the farm up.
You know, I don't think we paid $30,000 for that.
We paid $24,000.
That's the number I remember.
24,000.
That would make a farm.
Yeah.
Imagine
Yeah.
that.
Well, that's what we bought it with. And then Mother lent us the money to fix it up. And then we paid her back.
Could you imagine, I think the present people paid more than $1 million for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With some of the land chopped off too.
That's right. That
What
10
else?
acres at the top.
I thought it was down to 60 now.
Could be, could be.
Oh, is it?
I thought they cut it into a 60 and a 40.
I don't know.
Maybe
That
they
field was, you went in on the left, north of us.
Yeah, with the hill at the top end.
There's a house up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's such a gorgeous piece of property. When you go back and look out and see all around, oh, it's just beautiful.
God, we had good days.
Beautiful.
Do you remember there used to be a guy who would practice his trumpet? You could sit out on the front porch and hear him way off in the distance.
Yeah.
Out in the fields.
That was somewhere up in Doc Hackett's area, was it? Up that
I
road?
thought it was farther south.
Oh,
Well, it's hard to tell, actually.
remember Jimmy Atkins? Or,
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
So you just kind of fell into the farm.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
We had no intention of buying a farm. But of course, now I look at my pictures, and here I'm a little guy, and I've got cattle all around me and everything in Como.
Yeah.
Our country house is in the middle of a farm.
It was
And I spent all my...
in your system from when you were little.
Yes, sir. And I spent all my days that I could as a little guy at the farm.
Yeah.
Across the road, I could walk up, and in the morning in those days, every day, they took the milk up to the station in the big cans, you know, the big steel can, on a horse and buggy.
Yeah.
And I was allowed to drive the horse. Of course, the horse could do it by itself.
Yeah.
But Mr. Davidson, who was running this farm, was a Robinson farm, but Davidson, I think, was his nephew or something. Come on, Wilk. He
Yeah.
used to call me Wilk.
Yeah.
Wilk, head like silk. So I could go up the farm, up the station of the train in the morning. God, that's very young.
So when you got the farm,
Yeah.
it came with the tractor, right?
Yep.
And some implements too. I think like the hay mower was there already.
Some of it was there, some of it I acquired eventually, you know.
Uh-huh.
But not the best. The snowblower I bought separately, I think.
Oh.
That was a huge, I just loved that.
Yeah, the driveway needed
Oh,
it.
oh.
Boy, snow we used to get there.
Hey, you remember we raised chickens and everything.
Sure.
Even
Remember the
glad we had good.
lady used to come and caponize them, and then I remember we had pigs for a week once. I think we got 3 of them. And they escaped about 3 times a
Yeah,
day.
that was the end.
Give them back.
Yep.
Might have got those from the Jacksons.
I don't remember, I think so.
Yeah.
Oh,
Chickens.
they were great days at the farm.
So on the cattle, of course, and then we always had a horse.
Yeah, 2 horses we ended up.
Yeah.
And the horse that we got from the farm, the other side of Murdoch's, all of a sudden produced a little foal.
Yeah, I remember that.
She wasn't supposed to have any because that guy was keeping those horses because there's a chemical they get from bred, pregnant mares' urine.
Oh.
They're all bundled up in the barn, they're kept indoors. You never saw it, but the line behind Murdoch.
No, I didn't.
It's a very famous, everybody, women know about it. It's some kind of chemical of some sort that they get from pregnant mares' urine. And that's what this guy was doing. He had about 40 horses all lined up in his barn.
Wow.
Big canvas bags on the back, just collecting the urine from them.
Wow. Oh, no, I never heard of that.
Well, he said, this one's not bred, you can have it. I said, what do you want for his pony car? Sorry about that.
Really?
Yeah, it's not red, but Jesus was out in the field one day and there was a little calf.
Yeah.
Or what do they call foal?
Full, yeah.
That's how we got that foal. I had no idea.
Well, here's a funny thing. You know, eventually it ended up retiring to Coster's place, right?
The foal, yes.
And the mother.
And the mother, yes, that's right.
And
Yes, that's right.
it turned out that that's what happened with Nancy's horses too.
They get bred or something like that? Or
They ended up at Coster's
Really?
together with ours. Yeah.
What was happening? Oh, Phil Coster, he had booze trouble.
Yeah. I remember we used to drive him to work one summer.
Yeah, it was some Sears or something like that. Or...
No, it was an importing company.
Oh, yes, I remember
Q10
that.
International, maybe.
Were you, yeah, were you with Spaldings in those days?
Yeah, it was a summer job.
Yeah.
For me.
Just like it, but he couldn't handle the booze.
These kids were wild.
I don't remember too much about the Costers.
Archie and Ian. We went to high school with them.
Archie and what?
Ian.
So how did your bus route go then? Would they go down the side road? I guess.
Oh, no, I think they went on a different bus.
Okay. They must have gone down the Highway 9 then.
Over the years, the bus routes changed. I'm
Yeah.
not sure. I can't remember much anymore. It's
I thought
60s,
your bus
all
went
over the
across
place.
one side.
Yeah, usually it did, but sometimes it went up and down a few
Okay.
lines, and doubled back, and all kinds of things. over
Sure.
the years.
But those were good days, huh?